Okay, here we go. No takesies backsies. We're starting a little late today. It is 6:40 a.m. Sirs went live almost 2 hours ago. I was up at that point, but I have been adjusting audio settings because I found that my previous recordings have just been a little bit too low, a little bit on my side and a lot more on the game side. So I've been trying to perfect that balance. Also, my laptop's having issues, and I really hope that doesn't come back to bite me in the ass. But I think we've delayed enough time. Let's go ahead and get in here. Old enemies, new threats. Are we going to start out with, Ruby Weapon? Is that going to be the first thing we do? Allah. My, what a pleasant surprise. If you've come to inquire after the Archons, fear not. Master Matoya's treatment has proven effective in stabilizing their corporeal ether. We mustn't grow complacent, however. Potent though these magics may be, they are not without limits. We can only hope they afford us enough time for the Crystal Exarch to complete his work. If only we could go with you to the first and help. Pardon the interruption, but I come bearing urgent news. Hey, Maximus, right? Maxima. Ah, Allah, it has been far too long, my friend. I constantly forget how attractive he is. Forgive me, I don't believe we have been formally introduced. Maxima, former Garlean ambassador. I remain here in Eorzea under the auspices... Auspices? That's a weird word. Of Commander Alden. Offering what counsel I can in hopes of resolving the present conflict with the Empire. Ah, yes, I've heard stories of a defector from Garlemald. But never mind that. You said you have urgent news. Indeed. As you may have heard, the Imperial capital is in turmoil, and a sizable portion of the Garlean forces have been recalled from Gimlet Dark. With their numbers so greatly diminished, the main host of the Alliance has withdrawn, leaving Alamegan resistance to keep watch over the border. And it is there we have welcomed a most unexpected visitor who claims that this de-escalation may belly growing dangers and unforeseen threats. Is it Gaius? Commander Alden has arranged for an impromptu meeting to discuss these revelations. He also requested a representative of the Scions attend as well, though it was clear to whom he wished I extend this invitation. It would seem time is of the essence. Well, you'll not be attending this meeting alone, though I am not as well versed in the affairs of city-states as our comrades. I see no reason to burden a single Scion with all of this. Yes, of course. Then we must make for the Alamegan quarter with all haste. Well, what are you waiting for? Get going, you two. Man, does it feel weird going back to Alamigo. I figured we wouldn't do this until we resolve the main Shadowbringers conflict, which was getting the Scions back. The Alamegan quarter. There we are. Feels really weird being back here. There must be a lot of people here. Yep, here they come. There you are. Commander Alden awaits us in the Royal Palace, if you would follow me. I keep looking back to the Elgato, making sure everything's still good. Ah, there he is. How are you, you old bastard?
They're here, Commander.
And I, for one, am grateful that they are. Told you've been busy since our paths last crossed at the Gimlet Dark. Not that I understand half of it. When the Scions spoke of other worlds, I'd struggled to describe what I pictured. Mayhap things would seem clearer were I to hear the tale from your own lips. But I'm afraid the situation will not afford us that luxury. I trust you two require no introduction.
We meet again, hero of Eorzea.
Did you get more beard since last time? A little bit more stubble.
Must we repeat this ridiculous display? I pose no threat to you, though what I come to warn you of very well might.
Oh, it's just like turn into anime protagonist mode. Gaius!
Had he meant to do us harm, I hazard he would have kept to the shadows and brought more than 2 companions. We need not pretend to be the best of friends, but I hope we can put aside our differences for the present.
Did we ever find out who are the 2 Scions he's killed? The ones whose masks he has on his robes?
As you are doubtless aware, Sir Estinian and I cooperated to rid the world of Black Rose in your absence. Our journey together took us as far as the Imperial Palace, where we witnessed Emperor Varus meet his death at Xenos' hand. Being the sole witnesses to this crime, and in no position to defend our innocence, we were then forced to flee, each pursuing his own avenue of escape. When we were later reunited, Estinian claimed to have encountered an unfamiliar kind of machina during his flight, but to me his description seemed anything but, and upon further investigation I found that I was right.
We are starting with Ruby Weapon, aren't we? Interesting.
The Empire is developing a new Ultima Weapon.
What, that Allagan monstrosity? Created to vanquish primals? With which you yourself once thought to conquer Eorzea?
The same. In my foolishness, I sought to harness its power, and became the Ascian's pawn in so doing. But you know as well as I how that tale ended. The weapon itself, excavated from beneath this very city, was destroyed ere we could fully unravel its secrets, and that should have been the end of it.
They found it under Alamigo?
But unlikely as it sounds, the Empire's efforts to recreate it have somehow borne fruit, primarily through secret research conducted by the 7th Imperial Legion, it would seem.
The 7th Imperial Legion. Get it?
Wait, the 7th was all but annihilated at Cartano, along with its legatus.
Indeed. Few survived. The 7th, as it is now, has little in common with the Legion led by Vandarnus, and its leadership has changed hands several times since.
Vandarnus!
Precisely how this project has continued despite such turmoil, and under whose auspices, remains a mystery.
It's a mystery. Who done it?
What we do know, however, is that a number of prototypes have been produced, and that one of them is on its way to Eorzea.
Obviously, we have 2 more to fight. After Ruby Weapon.
We attempted to stop it. but it was all we could do to slow its progress, so we resolved instead to bring you warning.
And right glad are we that you did, though it soundly dashed our hopes that tensions might ease at last.
As it is, we've begun to strengthen our presence in the Gimlet Dark, and are assembling a force to meet the coming threat. A force with you in its vanguard, I hope. Before you say anything, I know full well you have pressing concerns of your own. Your comrades remain in peril, and I would not ask you to forsake them. But the fact remains that you, and you alone, have faced the Ultima Weapon, and emerged victorious. And so, when the time comes, if your comrades can spare you, I bid you lend us your strength. I've assigned an officer to await your word.
How interesting. They're giving me the choice to do this now.
The Scions' downfall was to be the work of my remaining days. But it was my hand that kindled these flames, and I cannot allow them to spread any further. I will do what I must to see this mistake consigned to history once and for all. Even if it means begging your aid. The Fates will enjoy the irony, even as I endure the ignominy.
I too shall make for the border and offer my skills, meager though they seem in such company. Mayhap we shall meet there anon.
Though we can ill afford to ignore the coming of a new Ultima Weapon, our friends' plight grows ever more precarious, and none save you can join them in the first.
Dilemma.
I only hope you are not forced to make a choice.
Very interesting. Are they going to give me a choice? That's the question. As ever, the way forward is paved with difficult decisions. We can ill afford to ignore the threat of the new Ultima Weapon, but with each passing day, the plight of the Scions grows ever more perilous. If you cannot stay for a debriefing on the Ultima Weapon, I will not stop you. I only ask that you confer with me before returning to the first. Very interesting that they give us the choice. But I got people I care about. So that will be in a separate video. I take it you're ready to return to the first. Then I would ask that you apprise the others of recent events here in the source, namely Xenos' return in the development of the new Ultima Weapon. As for their bodies, you may assure them Master Matoya and I will continue doing what we can to keep their corporeal ether stable. Safe travels, Allah. I hope to see you and the other Scions soon. Speak with the Crystal Exarch and the Oculary. Let us go. I mean, I get why they put that in the main scenario, but it does feel like a huge departure from what most people care about right now. Thankfully, it didn't take too long, but yeah, that is something I will do after I finish the main scenario. Mateus is open for transfers. Wow. I'll have to remember that. Get my friend over to Mateus. That was just a text message from my friend Kevin. Interesting. Huh. Yeah, I'll definitely have to remember that. Let's go. Don't look. I'll be right back. Gotta come in the right way. He didn't see nothing. I don't think he saw me. He definitely didn't turn his head to look at me. Oh, Exarch, how good it is to see you again. I definitely came here through the portal. You've come at a most opportune time, my friend. I've made something of a breakthrough in my research on the soul, and a means to return the Scions home. I trust you have been making good use of your time. Well, Remind came out, and that took a while, so yeah. Ill tidings from the source, you say? Then I will summon the others that we might all be appraised of the situation. Are the others running late, or can they not join?
Now that we are all here, what news from the source?
Well, we're not all here.
A new Ultima Weapon. We must count ourselves lucky that Gaius has pledged his assistance.
While this is indeed a worrying development, I think the state of the Empire as a whole greater grounds for concern. With the Emperor slain and Xenos returned, it is impossible to predict how matters will unfold in Garlemald. The Ultima Weapon may be but the first of many unpleasant surprises.
The situation beareth closer observation, of that there is no doubt, and doth compound our need to return unto the source.
Then let us address that issue. Our long search for a means to see you safely home may well be nearing its conclusion. Thanks in large part to Urianger and Beklug's invaluable insight, we have succeeded in fashioning a vessel for the journey.
New type of white
We
oversight?
set out to create a crystalline container retaining the more useful properties of white orsite, but without its regrettable limitations. And after a good deal of trial and error, we made one. An ark for soul and mind both that will allow your incorporeal self in its entirety to be ferried between worlds. A spirit vessel, if you will. However?
Though the vessel
Cash.
is possessed of the requisite qualities to hold mind and memory, it wanteth yet for a means to receive of them. For that, we must needs imbue it with the Exarch's innate gift.
A gift that lives on only through the blood of the Allagan Emperors, which certainly does not flow within Orisite or any other crystal.
A gift that lives only through the blood of Allagan Emperors. Is my theory right? Do we have to wake up Graha on the source?
Just so, milady. The blood serveth as a conduit of sorts. In its absence, memory cannot pass from mind unto mind, nor from flesh unto crystal.
That being the case, we must either alter the process of inheritance so as to require no such thing, or determine a means by which my blood may permeate the vessel. I am hopeful that the records found within this tower will yield the knowledge we require to pursue one or the other of these avenues.
As well you should be. The Allegan's body of etherological research is extraordinary. I can scarce believe it the work of ages past. But its underlying principles are not so very different from those of my own field of study. Given time, we will find the answers we seek.
I know that you can ill afford to wait, and it pains me that I must ask you to do so. I can only reaffirm my promise to you that a solution will be found. Whatever it takes, I will see you safely home.
So if I'm getting this right, we need to be able to use his blood to permeate the crystal, correct?
I do hope you haven't come to tell us that mortal peril fast approaches.
No. I had hoped to speak with the Warrior of Darkness.
That's me.
But there is no need to cut short your meeting on my account. I will be waiting outside.
Why not speak in here? She knows I don't mind. Unless she didn't want to.
Perhaps I might accompany you. Though I am woefully ill-qualified to assist in the Exarch's research, I may yet be of some use to Lena.
I'm not sure I completely understand how the crystal is supposed to work. Or like, how you add his blood to the crystal, or what? Maybe that'll be better explained later. I'm sure I just didn't hear something right. I must confess, while I enjoy my fair share of scholarly research, it will be good to step outside for a spot of fresh air. Now then, shall we go speak with Lena? It may simply be my imagination, but Lena has been rather brusque with me of late. If I'm pronouncing that word right. You don't suppose she's still upset over the mishap with the salmon fillet, do you? Did I miss something regarding a salmon? Well. I don't know. Oh, good. Kevin's finally logged on. He can get started on the MSQ. We have little time, so I will be brief. A Sin Eater has been sighted in Lakeland, and I ask for your assistance in slaying it. A Sin Eater? I had heard some few yet remained after the night we had returned, but perhaps we should call the others. That will not be necessary. It is only a single Sin Eater. A simple task for our guard, I should think. That said, I believe fighting alongside the Warrior of Darkness would be a valuable experience for them. Peace can lead to complacency, and they gain nothing from an easy victory. But you do not underestimate your foes, however harmless they may seem. My men would do well to learn from your example. Me? Why not Alpha? I think it's pretty obvious why. Let's be about it then. Excellent. Then let us make for Fort Job. Oh boy. Yoshi P told us that this was supposed to be a really long part of the MSQ. I don't remember if they said this is supposed to resolve the main Shadowbringers issue, which was getting our boyos and girlos home. We shall see. If you would wait here a moment, I will gather the others. There's something suspicious about this. Why is it suspicion? You may not remember, but you have met these soldiers once before, though only in passing. Long have they awaited the opportunity to fight at your side. I was at Death's Shore the day after the Sin Eaters attacked. If you and yours hadn't come along, I'd likely have stepped through, and I wouldn't have been alone. Your courage and selflessness is something we all aspire to. I too was there that terrible day. My friend was transformed into a Sin Eater before my very eyes, and I had no choice but to cut her down. The thought of returning to the field, of holding a blade again, filled me with dread. But that is no way to honor her or my comrades, and so I have returned. I swear I will not let you or anyone else down from this day forward. A pleasure to meet you, sir, truly. It seems like only yesterday I watched as you took flight astride the Amuro to go save the Oracle. Strange to think the Omoran soldiers we once locked blades with are now on our side, but we will do our utmost to keep the peace here in Lakeland. We seem to be missing one. I remember your face. I believe you were at the infirmary, right? My apologies, Captain Lena. An elderly gentleman asked me to escort him to Clear Melt. It took longer than anticipated. I'll not begrudge your desire to help those in need, but a soldier must be punctual, especially when we play host to honored guests. It won't happen again. The name's Thaler. Is it Thaler or Thaler? I'm gonna go with Thaler. I'm sure you don't remember, but we met once before. Yep. Ha! I did remember. Take that! I asked you to deliver a message to the Exarch and the Warrior of Darkness. Little did I know, I was already talking to him. Don't give up, don't give in. I keep those words close to my heart, and the boundless, beautiful skies above as a reminder of their importance. My friend got to see the Knight's return shortly before he passed. He left this world with a smile, satisfied with a glimpse of what was to come. But there are countless others who weren't so fortunate. They gave their lives for the promise of a future they'll never know. And so it falls to us to do everything we can to fulfill that promise. No matter what happens, we won't give up. We won't give in. Drink! I need a drink. It's better. Your heroism has inspired all of our guardsmen in much the same manner. Our scouts at the northern staging point have not had the pleasure of meeting you in person. Let us not keep them waiting. Oh, load. There we go. That's a Sin Eater.
Did you slay this eater? Your orders were to await the main force before engaging.
No, Captain. It wasn't us, I swear it. A man came out of nowhere and cut it down before we knew what was happening.
Is this that young-looking Ardbert? Maybe.
By himself. Certainly it is no light warden, but nevertheless.
It's true. Felled it with a single swing of his axe he did.
Yep.
Never seen anything like it. So I says to him, who are you, the warrior of bleeding darkness? And he says, no, I'm a warrior of light. And that was it. Buggered off as quick as he came.
A warrior of light?
Why would someone go around calling himself that, though? It was those bastards who caused the flood. I mean, if you were going to pretend to be anyone, it'd be him, the warrior of darkness.
Eh? Oh, I didn't know. It's an honor.
It's gonna blow!
Since the Eater is no longer a threat, our work here is done. Return to your posts.
I had hoped to fight at your side today. But I'll continue to follow your example, and may we meet again.
I apologize for the wasted journey. It seems I overestimated the threat. As for this warrior of light, I do not know who would be brazen enough to take that mantle for his own. Whatever it may once have meant, it is forever tainted by the association with the Flood. The Exarch told me the truth of Ardbert and his comrades' deeds, and I am aware they played some part in your own triumph. But to most, they are synonymous with the calamity that befell this world. Still, if this man is minded to destroy Sin Eaters, I may forgive him his unfortunate choice of alias. But that is neither here nor there. I thank you for accompanying me.
With that concluded, shall we return to the Crystarium? There is a proposal I should like to make.
Forgive me. There is one more thing. A personal concern of mine. I had hoped you might have a moment to speak privately.
Take your time. I shall go on ahead.
So what's this really all about?
I will not mince words. This matter concerns the Exarch.
Obviously.
Though his countenance belies his age, his demeanor never has. He has seen more than any man should and grown ever more weary with time. But I see I give the wrong impression. While it is true he attempted to open a letter with a salmon fillet the other evening, we are not here because I suspect his mind is deteriorating. Nor do I believe him to be so maddeningly unconcerned by the prospect of his own death as he once was. Indeed, the opposite is true.
So?
It is for this reason that I seek your advice. Since he returned from the Tempest, the Exarch is not as he was. He seems a different man. A younger man. I know not the details of his research, but when I saw him at work recently, there was a glint in his eye that I had never seen before. He looked happy. It was as if he had peered into the future and for the first time found joy there. Though it gladdens me to see him thus, I wonder if I should not keep my distance. I fear that my presence will only anchor him to the past, remind him of all the pain that came before.
He's lost without you, you know. He misses you already.
Are you sure? Then perhaps we might remain as we were. As we have always been. What a relief. In that case, I will have to speak with him about the amount of time he is spending at work. This research is important, I know, but if he refuses to consider his own health, I will have to consider it for him.
Go ahead. It's not like I've tried talking to him about the same thing. Maybe he'll listen to one of us. Facing the truth. I will not keep you. You and your comrades have much to discuss. I will see the others back to their posts. Speak with Alpha now. I've got to look up on somewhere. My Elgato does this thing to my picture on the TV where it zooms in a bit. So, like, on the preview footage on Elgato, I can see the whole image, but on my actual TV, it, like, cuts out. Like, my time to server time and my world and stuff like that. I also can't see my experience bar at all. I don't know why it does that. I feel like that's a problem that's only happened recently. Are you in the oculary? Something's gonna happen there, I guess. Tells me a warrior of light has slain a sin eater. Quite frankly, I'm not sure what to make of this. Oh yes, I was hoping to speak with her about them. On second thought, never mind. It would be rude of me to pry. The others were quite shocked to hear what we found in Lakeland. But now you're here, there is a proposal I should like to make. I have been spending a great deal of time in the Cabinet of Curiosity, and of late I have noted more and more people pursuing books on history, the years leading to the Flood in particular. I suspect they wish to know more about the Warriors of Light, as well they should, but nearly everything I've come across describes them as sin eaters or worse. Regardless of whether or not this Warrior of Light is who they claim to be, I worry their sudden appearance in conjuncture with this renewed interest in their predecessors may lead to growing unrest and fear. If the people of the Crystarium seek the truth, I say we give it to them. I too can attest to the falsehoods found within full many of the cabinet's tomes, with nary a mention of the noble deeds of Ardbert and his comrades. To be fair, they bear some responsibility for the flood, but when the tale is told again and again over the course of a century, I'm not surprised to see their roles distorted and them painted as villains. Were it not for the record stored within the Crystal Tower, I would have had no reason to question the narrative. Unfortunately, that knowledge was of no use, for when I arrived here in the first, their reputation had already irreparably been tarnished. That said, there still remained those who worked tirelessly to defend their good name in those early days following the flood. Considering all the good they had done, I find it a wonder they needed defending at all. They brought to justice the man who misused my knowledge to bring about the fall of Ardbert. That such heroes could have spoken of in the same breath as sin-eaters is absurd. Under normal circumstances, I would agree, but as time passed, those who knew firsthand of their deeds dwindled. In the end, only one truth remained, that they were the cause of the flood. With the world on the brink of oblivion, it was all too easy for the warriors of light to become villains, deserving only of the resentment and hate. At that point, the truth mattered little. It would not change their lot. Thanks to all of you, however, their lot has changed, and now they may heed the long-forgotten truth. You claimed it was Ardbert who helped you overcome MSQ, correct? Such a revelation would do well to sway the hearts of those who know him only as a villain. I have shared this with a select few, but one and all must be told of his sacrifice. To that end, I say we proceed with Alphinaud's plan. We call together the people of the Crystarium, and recount to them the tale of the Warriors of Light, and the flood that followed in their wake. Well, what say you, Allah? Share the word. I wish we had done this sooner. In hindsight, I agree, but better late than never, no? Exarch, might I ask you continue working with Begluk on our means of returning home? The rest of us will see to gathering the people of the Crystarium in the Exarch. We have to reach out to any and everyone who might be willing to lend an ear. With any luck, word will spread, and more will accompany them. There can be no darkness without light, and so it was that Ardbert was there. In your hour of need, the people must be told. Oh, we got some places to go to. I guess just start at the pendants, work our way around. Oh, well, to what do we owe the pleasure? Whatever it is, I must ask you be brief. With the night return, visitors have been flocking to the Crystarium, and I find myself too busy by half. I don't mind it, though, seeing the stairs so full of excitement. One can almost forget the flood ever happened. Well, I'm about to give you a big ol' reminder. Truth about the Warriors of Light. But you already told me all there is to know, didn't you? Well, if there's more to their story, I'd love to hear it. Maybe then I can compete with Cilia in regaling patrons with stories of their heroism. Perhaps I'll even inspire a few aspiring adventurers. Cranston, are you still over here? I saw you in one of the cutscenes. Doesn't look like it. Proceed! Come to browse the wares in the market, have you? Well, I can guarantee you'll have no trouble finding what you need, whatever it may be. Under Yulmord's new leadership, trade has never been more prosperous. Word is it that fellow from Daedalus Stoneworks has taken over as mayor? Did he really? What a wonder business is booming the way it is. I imagine it won't be long before the Norvrant reaps the benefits. But you've come not to talk about the market, something on your mind. I see. The Exarch did mention they had something to do with your returning the night to Norvrant. Alright, consider my interest piqued. Infirmary. Oh, my, what a wonderful surprise. Though I hope your being here doesn't mean someone's been hurt. Thanks to you, I've had far fewer patients coming through my door of late, which is a shame, come to think of it. I've had fewer opportunities to test my new medicines. I jest, of course. It's actually been quite pleasant to have a few moments to myself now and then. The truth about the Warriors of Light, but the Exarch has already spoken with me about them. Well, if there's more to the tale, I'd very much like to hear it. Alright, we have Crystalline Mean and Cabinet. Might be faster to teleport to these places. Ah, Catless. The woman with no cats. Well, wow, what a coincidence. I was just reading over a letter I received from Grinold not too long ago. He says a visitor from the Crystarium found him in the bottom of the ocean. And that he inspired him to reach new artistic heights. Well, I can only think of one person capable of both feats. Though I'd say the latter is far more impressive. To think fate could bring the two of you together in such a place. I'm sorry. You mean the Exarch didn't tell us the whole story of the Warriors of Light? Well, whatever he's left unsaid, I'm all ears. Alright, finally the cabinet. No, this can't be. Surely there is at least one book here that does not cast the Warriors of Light and their deeds in such a negative light. Forgive me. The Cabinet of Curiosity has been bustling with visitors of late, but I fear our repository lacks the knowledge they seek. The people wish to know the truth of the flood of the Warriors of Light. I have searched high and low, but alas, every account portrays them as no better than the Sin Eaters, abominations worthy only of scorn and resentment. I know they were not always judged so harshly, yet I cannot find proof. But I dare call myself a librarian. You would address the people and tell them the truth of the Warriors of Light, of the Flood? How wonderful. You have regaled me with their tale once before, but I should love to hear it again. Oh, and you may be assured I will come not alone. Alright, speak with Alpha now. That is not the exit. Come on, I just woke up. Can't be tired yet. A lot of people here. There you are. Between the four of us, I dare say we've swept Crystarium from top to bottom. Now we need but wait for the people to gather. I have a feeling our Warrior of Light friend will be making an appearance.
Yes, this looks to be nearly everyone. Let us begin, shall we? Though I am usually the first to hold forth at such events, I think on this occasion that honor should fall to you.
They would be more inclined to take the word of the Warrior of Darkness.
Indeed. In light of the subject matter, who better than thee to speak these truths?
I feel like there should be some narration here.
Wicked White? The Warriors of Light did all that?
Something like Exarch or somebody talking over, and then the Warrior of Darkness told them all the shit that happened, you know? Something like that.
So they never... I mean, they only ever wanted to help. And when everything they'd done turned to ash, they still carried on.
They gave everything to stop the flood. First their lives, then their souls. And they managed it too, in the end. They saved us. And we cursed their names.
This should go a long way towards clearing the air.
I've got a bad feeling. There he is.
impossible.
I was about to say, so you can see him too.
I definitely see something. You don't think it's a ghost, do you?
Nay. Yonder standeth no bloodless apparition, but a warrior of light and darkness both. Ardbert.
What in the world?
Yeah, what do you see?
It's you! The one who slew the Eater!
That it should be the warrior of darkness who brought the truth to light. You've saved me a fair bit of time, though I have a few words of my own to say, if I may. People of the Crystarium, I am Ardbert, one of those you know as a warrior of light.
That's impossible. You should be dead.
Aye, that I should. But as the world has been given new life, so too have I. I know not why I, and I alone, have been gifted this chance. But I do know this. Only by the will of the star itself could such a miracle come to pass. The hero who stands before you now, the warrior of darkness, is not of this world. And the day will come when he must return to his home. But this land is our home. And if it is to remain so, now and forevermore, it is we who must protect it. The time to rely on saviors from afar has passed. It is you who must rise. You who must become the new warriors of light.
What? Us? Warriors of light?
None of us were born heroes, my friend. I was only ever a man with a thirst for adventure. But wherever my journeys took me, I was invariably confronted with the same choice. To lend what aid I could to those in need, or not. And I always chose the former. Any one of you could do the same. All you need is the will to help your fellow man, and the resolve to see it through.
From thine own lips did we learn of Ardbert's fate, and by thy countenance I gather thou art not inclined to recant thy testimony. Yet whosoever this man may be, his words hold truth and resonate with the citizenry besides. For us to voice our doubts here and now would serve but to sow disquiet. 'Twere better we retired unto the ocular and there discuss this matter in private.
Go. I will stay here and watch.
What is Elidibus trying to do? That is the question.
So, that is a warrior of light of the first. I've not had the pleasure of making his acquaintance, but as you all seem to be in agreement, I gather this is no simple case of mistaken identity.
As far as I was able to discern, that was indeed Ardbert. It has been a long time, but not that long. Could he truly have been resurrected as he claims?
Absolutely not. It looks like him, it sounds like him, but it is not him.
Ardbert did entrust his very soul unto thee. I see no reason to question thy judgment.
Nor I. To my eyes, your ether burns as brightly as the day you slew Emmett Selk. That is proof that he is with you still.
If I could talk to him, that'd be
Yet
great.
that which standeth now before the people is far more than a passing imitation. I am reminded of the cardinal virtues, though a sin-eater he is not. Which leaveth but one plausible explanation.
Ascians! Dun dun!
That he is an Ascian.
Given their fondness for posthumous possession, I would have to agree. From what I understand, the Warriors of Light were laid to rest in Yulmore by those whom they had aided in life. At the time, some few still remembered them as heroes. Needless to say, 4 of them were subsequently exhumed to serve as the virtues. And if one knew where to look, Ardbert too would not have been difficult to find.
Assuming then that this is indeed the work of an Ascian, my mind inevitably turns to the last remaining paragon to survive the Sundering.
Elidibus. That Xenos hath reclaimed his own flesh is known. Thus evicted from his borrowed form, and cognizant no doubt of Emmett Selk's failure here in the first, 'tis quite possible the emissary chose Ardbert for his next vessel.
Inhabiting the flesh of the fallen. My, that is unsavory. And they do this often, you say?
Verily, for they possess no corporeal forms of their own. In what one may term their natural state, none save those gifted with the echo can perceive them. Indeed, when Elidibus intruded upon the waking sands, his presence did go unmarked by all save Minfilia and the Warrior of Light. On that occasion I myself remained ignorant of his coming until after his departure. 'Twas only at a later juncture, when he deigned to appear before me in borrowed flesh, that I was finally able to take the measure of him. In such puppetry do the Ascians engage when they seek to influence the course of history.
And they have gained much by it. Emmett Selk single-handedly built the Garlean Empire in this manner, while the Hebrea came close to conquering Eorzea, having taken possession of Thancred's living body.
Yet it must needs be noted that the Ascians cannot avail themselves of all mortal vessels. For were they able to do so, none would serve as a better pawn than our own redoubtable champion. Mayhap the blessing of light shieldeth Hydaelyn's chosen from Ascian influence. Or mayhap other forces are at work. We cannot say for certain.
Whatever the reason, I hope it holds true. I dare not contemplate what might come to pass otherwise.
Is it not peculiar, then, that Ardbert's mortal remains should be susceptible, given that he was once a warrior of light? Or did the final departure of his soul make it possible, perhaps? Regardless, to hear an Ascian use him to call forth new warriors of light boggles the mind.
Elidibus hath ever been an enigma, his ostensible purpose being to preserve the balance between light and dark. When he made overtures towards me, however, I was afforded a glimpse behind the mask of the self-appointed emissary. I shall not defend mine actions, undertaken in pursuit of a better understanding of our foe as either wise or prudent. Nevertheless, what little I did glean may now prove useful. Elidibus possesseth a subtle mind, practiced in the art of manipulation. That he coaxed this star's most valiant heroes as far as the source with naught save half-truths is no trifling feat. And now I believe he doth employ his skills once more to some as yet unknown end. Though naught is certain, should my suspicions prove true, we shall have need of all our wits if we are to uncover and thereafter thwart his plot.
Agreed. 'Tis plain that simply speaking out against him will not avail us. At best, it would only serve to confuse the people. And I would hesitate to do anything which might tarnish Ardbert's reputation once more, nor yours by association. That being the case, it may be wise to keep a covert eye on this Ardbert's movements, as we attempt to discern his purpose and how best to mitigate his influence.
His performance appears to have concluded. What now? Go back out and follow him?
'Twould appear Master Alphino already hath pursuit in mind, and I suspect one pair of eyes shall better serve our cause than half a dozen. Let the rest of us maintain an inconspicuous distance, for the present at least.
Well, this is troubling. Now what? Sleep disturbed. Whose sleep? You did well to dispel the falsehoods surrounding the Warriors of Light and their actions prior to the Flood, though I must say the reappearance of Ardbert, or rather, one who appropriated his identity, was a rather curious development. He is an impostor, of that there is no doubt, but to the masses he will appear as a hero returned from the grave. After the Warriors of Light were laid to rest in the Yomor, the people prayed fervently for the gods to deliver them from their plight. Prayed that these fallen heroes be born again for their sacrifices. A bitter irony. I, for one, would like to know why Ardbert urged the people to become Warriors of Light themselves. Ere we take action, we must needs ascertain his intent. Let us pray that Master Alphino returneth soon with the most essential knowledge. For now, I think it best to apprise Thancred and Green of our efforts. When we do confront Ardbert, we shall no doubt have need of their strength. Agreed. I think it prudent we all take measures to prepare for what is to come. Becklook and I will continue our research into how we might improve the spirit vessel, and that it might one day carry you home. Ishola. Then I think it time I return to the Great Wood. Until now, everything we learned of the Scions has been handed to us at their leisure. But that was one of Emetselk's unique failings. I think I have no reason to think Elidibus will be so forthcoming. Fortunately, I recently received word from Fano that heretofore unexplored chambers have been discovered deep within the Katana Revel. Almet believes these relics will tell of a great calamity that befell an ancient civilization, that of the Scions, perhaps. They may lead us to truths we seek. I'm fucking going. Kid me? Where's Alize? Where is my daughter? I wouldn't dream of going without you. When you are ready, make for Fano. Alma and her sisters will be expecting us. Then let us be about our tasks. Pray give my regards to the V's. Though I would like to join you in untangling the Scions' machinations, I think it best I stay here and devote my energies to finding a way to deliver the Scions back onto the source. No. Oh boy. How long have we been recording? An hour 11. Not entirely sure how long this is supposed to be. Around the 2-hour mark, I'll just have to figure up exactly how much time we might have left in this. If all else fails, I can always split the VOD into 2, I suppose. Welcome, allies of Ronka. We have accomplished much since the last time you came. With the Light Warden dead and its minions dispersed, we have at last reclaimed our hunting grounds near Arctic Falls. It was there that we discovered more ruins. Although we ran afoul of no traps while exploring its halls, we determined that the innermost chambers were warded by magic. We all were in agreement. Before any investigation could proceed, you should be summoned. We are grateful you did. From what you have told me, I strongly suspect that the wisdom my comrades and I seek can be found within. This wisdom could prove invaluable, for we may soon face a foe whose greatest asset is our ignorance. I see. Then it is good that you have come, for Ronka was once home to the greatest of weapons, knowledge and understanding. And it is our duty to ensure you and yours do not want for either. That said, we must proceed with caution. To have reached the inner chambers unmolested suggests a more formidable deterrent yet lies within. Come now. Surely any threats sleeping within the ruins pale in comparison to those we have faced thus far. This is not a game, sister. You should not be so eager to run headlong into danger. Oh? And who was it pining for the return of our allies that we might venture into the ruins? Clutching her staff at night, wishing it were. You promised me to tell. Then I suggest we be going. Get back here. Remind me, exactly how old are you and your sisters? On second thought, perhaps it's for the better, I don't know. Pray forgive their overzealous nature. None save we three have been privileged to escort you and yours to the ruins and bear witness to its secrets. Their hearts now burn with a curiosity that is not easily satiated. Please, you needn't apologize. As a seeker of knowledge myself, I understand full well your enthusiasm. And if not for your sedulous efforts to protect the ruins, we would not be afforded this opportunity. Speaking of which, I believe I have kept you away from the ruins long enough. Come, let us make for the Katana Ravel. Oh boy. Still recording. Good. Right down. Good. Aman no lahi. It is most strange for these halls to be left unguarded. Have care when breaking the seal on the chamber door. Danger surely awaits on the other side. It's recommended that you set sufficient time to view the scenes in their entirety. Alright. Let's go. Lots of cutscenes in an instance.
Come. Our new discoveries are to be found this way.
Hello.
The people of Ronka are known to have venerated animals, but these features do not match those of any indigenous species. This is no common beast.
The fuck is that thing?
Though that much is plain from its proportions.
Lifelike, is it not? One could almost imagine it breathed.
I imagine it will shortly.
Why you... Ugh.
This owl, by contrast, seems no different from the others we've seen.
The sealed door lies ahead. As you see, one statue is missing. I expect we are meant to replace it as before.
Too simple. There will be some additional defense mechanism. Just a moment. There are words carved into the stone. He who would disturb a hero's deserved slumber shall instead waken the beast and know his folly. Wait! Don't!
We are all died.
What? But I only... What is happening?
Oh my
Oh no.
god.
Oh no. Oh no. It
That is somehow worse than I
Why am I not
imagined.
surprised? Prepare yourselves.
It's a unique model, that's for fucking sure. Okay. Where are we going? A wall? What? Luxord, is that you? It's fucking beast form Luxord. Don't you have a car to drive? Oh god, what is this? You trespass, mortal, upon sacred ground in retribution for souls have been bound. Yet to heroes proven I learned and wise, comrades shall be their prize. If we would see theirs set free, answer me these Deft of paw, with kin do IV, though sought apart better. What? Deft of paw, with kin do I vie, though sought apart, betterment of the whole, do our efforts descry. Deft of paw, colibri coral. I don't know what a colibri is. Deft of paw, with kin do I vie. Though sought apart, betterment of the whole, do our efforts to. A coral? This Opa King Intruders. What? What? With fearsome fang I travel with pack. Together we find harmony, and thus for peace of our lands does not lack. That sounds like a wolf. Each was the spirit of the wolf. Praise, blah blah blah. What? On my belly do I crawl, by the strength does prosperity reign within our hall. Sounds like a serpent to me. Desire you that which I yet claim, then we shall play another game. Test of mind and memory, choose wisely, and you all may yet go free. Twixt these talismans hide friend and foe. Choose your companions well, or so or no. Twixt these talismans, hide friend and foe. Choose your companions well. Is there perhaps some sort of meaning to their arrangement? Oh, okay. Alright. So is this a simple game of... Alright, that's bad. I believe in the heart of the cards. Oh, that's bad. Okay. Comrades are assembled together at last. Yet still there remains one trial you must pass. If you would glean the knowledge enshrined in this earth, I would first take a measure of your worth. One worthy of she who the Ronkins extolled must be strong of mind and body and soul. Oh, I need to click this one. There we go. Summon. Time afar.
Here I come.
I'm stunned. Yep. Oh, okay. Someone else gets selected this time? Yep. This is different. Touch of shadow.
This is going to leave a mark.
This and that and this.
to leave a mark!
That was cool. I can't believe they made a unique model for this. Interesting. And return. We poof back into existence.
'Twould seem the magics have returned us. How polite. Now, what have we learned?
Ah, we were bound to run into a living statue eventually. And now we can open the door.
She picks it up, we instantly get teleported back.
He who would disturb a hero's deserved slumber.
Say that was sarcasm, as if you recognize something. That's Ronkin armor. So who is this?
A tomb, just as I thought. Befitting a hero.
She is Vis. Could it be the Archmage Tiuna? A legendary hero of Ronka, as you surmised. The tales tell of how she smote entire armies with a single incantation, so potent was her spellcraft. Though she ever fought in the name of peace.
I thought them no more than tales. To think she really existed.
Well, I for one always believed.
I wonder.
Sure.
By the light of fallen stars, great power awakens.
Tiuna was not only a master of spellcraft. It is said she could see truths long lost and hear the voices of men's hearts.
Naught less than the echo. In which case, none of this is mere coincidence. A shower of stars setting the sky aflame. And in both this world and the Source, we find individuals within whom a mysterious power awakened at the sight. We can never unpick the why of it. Now, however, I believe we might. Does the scene depicted here not resemble the one we saw when we first ventured into the Katana Ravel. Moreover, does it not recall that which Exarch invited us to witness in Amarot? The final days. If, as the Exarch's research suggests, soul and mind share a fragile yet profound bond, might it not be possible for an event to leave such a deep imprint upon the soul that it could be perceived eons later, given a suitable trigger? The echo defies explanation by conventional etherological theory, or shall we say modern etherological theory. But if it is a power that once belonged to the ancients, to souls yet undivided, it would seem I have entered the realm of pure speculation, and I call myself a scholar. I shall refrain from making any further wild claims until such time as I have evidence.
I like to speculate, though.
Still, I cannot choose but be reminded of our experience in Amarot.
We must recall Exarch's dying request.
Remember us.
History is learned, not lived. We have always protected the tales of Ronka, just as we have protected this place. But we are mindful of what our mothers taught us. We see the past through our own eyes, and speak of it with our own words. Thus do we come to understand it in our own way. But this is not the same as remembering.
Your mothers were wise. Though we witnessed the final days, our impressions cannot fail to be colored by our own experiences and expectations. Those who lived through it would have perceived the event quite differently. We must bear in mind that it is no simple matter to keep the truth alive, or it will die with Exarch and his kin. But we have disturbed Tuna long enough. Fanau will serve similarly well as a venue for our contemplations.
By your pensive expression, I take it the tomb has given you much to think about. That is, well, in time, the knowledge you have gleaned will lead to understanding, and thus arm you with what is to come. Before you leave, however, I would like to speak again of the teachings of our forebears, of histories learned, not lived. The legend of Tuna and her exploits has been told countless times over the centuries. Yet as it is handed from one generation to the next, the story changes. With each telling of the tale, there are new flourishes, details changed or lost. We can never truly know how she lived, for we were not there to see it. But we are here now to bear witness to your life. We have seen the change you have wrought, the echoes that will endure long after you are gone. And though it too will change in time, I swear to you, we shall do our best to preserve your story. I hope you'll forgive me if I don't make an oath of my own, but I think it goes without saying we could never misspeak of your heroism. Perish the thought. So long as we are here, there are none among the beasts who will not know of all you have done for Norvent. We are not deserving of such reverence, but we are grateful all the same. Where is Ishla? I don't... Oh, there she is. There. You can be certain we will have our own tales to tell of the great guardians of Arctica and the ruins of Ronka. I pray you safe travels then. As ever, we shall await your return with open arms. Although we have learned not of the Scions, the insight we gained into the Echo made our trip worthwhile. Before we return to the Crystarium, however, there is a small matter I would attend to in Slitherbow. Might I trouble you to come with me? Thank you. After we arrive, we should brief a word with Runar. Allah, it is good to see you. You've arrived at a most opportune time. I was preparing a pot of my famous stew. Come, I will ready a place for you. I'm sorry, Runar, but we haven't the... Please, I insist, it will take only a minute. Apologies, Allah. It seems our return to the Crystarium will be delayed. Perhaps only for a bit, if you assist me with my work. I say work, but it's rather more a chore. I must clean my chambers here in Slitherbow from time to time. If you would be so kind as to go fetch a broom from Asgir, we might finish before Runar is done cooking. Broom from Master Matoya. I can't imagine why she would have need of such thing, but here you are. It is old but sturdy and sure to suffice. Nope. Asgir was able to find a broom for us. Here you go. Well worn. Good. This will prove difficult otherwise. Oh, I must say, I think I did rather well for not having a broom thus far. Yes, well, you weren't buried beneath a veritable avalanche of books when you entered, were you? Right. Anyway, it's time I finish cleaning with the help of that broom. Is she gonna enchant it? You didn't honestly think I'd do it the old-fashioned way. That broom is more than capable of sweeping by itself, or rather, it will be. Time to rise, to swish and sweep. A tidy chamber you must keep. To this task you shall be bound, till no dust is to be found. In this one particular respect, I have no obligations to following in Master Matoya's footsteps. In future, I may need you to remind me if the pursuit of knowledge does not preclude other equally important duties, such as maintaining clean quarters for said pursuit. I will dearly miss this place, these people. Oh, he's sad. Master Matoya, pardon the interruption, but the stew is ready. Is something troubling you? You've been rather quiet. No, everything is fine, I assure you. It has been a long day, is all. I see. Charlotte, thank goodness you're still here. Oh, there's my girl. Half an hour. I thought you were following Artburg. I was, though I'm sad to say I lost track of him shortly after entering these woods. He seems determined to transfer every ilm of Norvrad in his quest to spread the truth of the Warriors of Light and Flood. And it seems news of your address at the Crystarium precedes him at every destination, making his task all the more simple. It remains to be seen to what end he encourages the people to become Warriors of Light themselves. There is no denying that his words have struck a chord with many. Well, we're all agreed that this is just another Ascian ploy, yes? They've commandeered corpses before, and to no good end. I see no reason to think this time is any different, especially when it's that of a fallen warrior of light. I doubt we'll learn more if we remain a step behind. His next destination is likely, in all likelihood, is Slitherbow. Alize, are you certain you should be here? If you're concerned about Howrick and the others, you needn't be. Their treatment is going well, but progress is slow and exhausting for all of us. Best thing I can do now is to let them rest. So I believe we are about to discuss how to arrange a meeting with our would-be Warrior of Light. Before visiting any towns or villages, Ardbird would hunt down and slay a nearby Sin Eater to earn the locals' trust. Our best chance of getting ahead of him is to find one before he does. Thankfully, Thancred and Reen are returned from the Empty and have taken up the search. Reen believe one may lurk beneath the boughs of Wyvern Oath. Then that is where we will start our search. Master Matoya. I have a warm bowl of stew will be awaiting your return. I look forward to it. There we are. Oh, we're too late again.
If you were hoping to vent your frustrations on our Issa friend here, I can only apologize.
Few as they are now, it took us no time at all to track it down.
That suits our purpose perfectly. Now we need only wait for Ardbert to arrive.
Weren't you two meant to be attending to the empty?
We were, and are, but we can hardly ignore the rest of the world. So we thought we might see how things were coming along. From what we can gather, the answer is strangely.
Right now, we think we can do more good here.
It is heartening to have all present.
The band's back together.
Indeed. We will be glad of the additional hands should matters escalate.
Our quarry has come.
It seems I've lost this particular race. Although I suppose it's only fair. When we first met, it was I who outpaced you. Ravana, was it?
Do you remember that? Is this... The question is this Elidibus in Ardbert's body? Or is this a past version of Ardbert? If that's even possible.
But where are my manners? I wouldn't be here were it not for you, and I have yet to say a word of thanks.
Extend a friendly fist. Ask whether he wishes set over here. Ooh. Which one? Which one? Friendly fist is specific to us. If it were a past version, he would know about Seto. So this is something that only we should know.
Arm giving you trouble? You should have it examined.
I thought you were supposed to be good at this.
Very well. Let us forego this pretense. After all, it was never you that I needed to deceive.
Dude, I'm gonna murder you so fucking hard.
Yes, it is I, Elidibus. Through your time in Emetzelk's imitation of our home, I dare say you have gained a better understanding of my role since last we met. Not that it matters.
We understand your role, emissary, but not your goal. What is it that you seek to achieve?
I seek to enact the will Of the convocation, of course. If it helps you to think of me as but another Ascian, no different in nature or purpose from the rest, you are welcome to do so.
He sounds familiar, the voice actor.
Once, I would have said your goal was destruction alone. Now I understand that you fight for something you love, just as we do. Yet though we seem doomed to clash, I bid you consider Selk's final words. Remember that we once lived, he said. Had he not seen some glimmer of hope in our kind, I do not believe he would have spoken thus.
None better understood your plight than he. His words must surely be worthy of your consideration.
Selk.
So it was your voice in the trailer.
How very unlike you to err so gravely. That one should stray at the end of so onerous a path is understandable. But I had thought you above such weakness. Mayhap you thought the same. Would that I had been present to offer correction. But I shall do so now, as is my duty, and return all to its proper course. As for you, look at yourselves. Look at your history. Look back 100 short years to how your greatest warriors were undone. And now, at but a word from me, you raise your hands in answer like the puppets you are. Naught has changed. You fail, and you fail, and you learn nothing. Allow that which is most important to slip through your fumbling fingers like so many grains of sand, again and again and again, and you would remember us. You do forget yourselves. There is no common ground to be found between you and I, nor do I require any. I have my duty.
You also have my friend's body, which I would greatly appreciate if you got the fuck out of.
Wait!
Well, we have confirmed the identity of our foe at least, and 'tis safe to say his objective is the rejoining.
But we still have no idea how playing the part of a warrior of light will further his cause, nor why he would spur others to do the same.
Another visit to the Tempest may shed some light upon these mysteries. Whether we are to exchange words or blows with Elidibus at our next meeting, the fact remains, we know too little. Ere our paths cross again, I would learn more of the world that once was, and of Elidibus himself. In this, we would be best served going directly to his home, much as Selk came to ours.
Though I see the wisdom in thy suggestion, the Amarot we visited is but a phantom born of Selk's memory. I fear it will teach us little that we do not already know.
I quite agree. Yet the ruins of the actual city remain unexplored. Given the vastness of the Tempest, I should not be surprised were there more such structures like to those in which the Ondo reside.
There's ought to be learned I want to know, for want of a better option. As long as you don't make me do anything. There's ought to be learned. I want to know.
A man after my own heart.
Assuming we are all in agreement, then I suggest we first pay a visit to the Ondo. If anyone can tell us where more ruins are to be found, it is them.
Let's go with that. Alphino has the right of it. Let us pay a visit to the Ondo. We should speak with Tolsh, that name, first. As chieftain, he is doubtless privy to a great many secrets. Put this away. Alright. Well, it's been 2 hours, and I have a feeling we're getting ready to go into the dungeon, and that's going to add even more time to that. So, I'm going to end this part here and go ahead and let the recording start to process. And should we not have too much more in this, in 5.2, in the MSQ, I'll edit them both together, but if it's longer than that, I will have been glad to split it into 2 parts. So, until next time, I will see you then. Goodbye.